Hey everybody, how's it going? I want to talk about vulnerable adults today, referring to mom, dad, grandma, grandpa, neighbors, etc. And I want to say I truly believe that within 80% of families, there's always one person that doesn't mind draining the account of individuals who no longer oversee their own finances. You'll always have a sibling, cousin, etc., that are similar to sharks or piranhas that prey on the weak. And initially, this person will seem like they're on the up and up, that they actually care. But then there comes a point in time where there's a shift and they believe they should be receiving compensation for their good deeds. So in my family, my dad never cared about taking care of his own money. First, when he was married to my mom, she oversaw the accounts, and then when he was on his own, my oldest sister would help him out, take him to the bank and pay the bills and all that. And that's when he was struggling with drinking at that time. And so there came a point in time when I was getting divorced, and my dad, he ended up helping each one of us out in some sort of way, whether he'd give you some money or old younger sister, he helped by co-signing for a vehicle for her, then he helped me and this and that, and I was in need of refinancing my house, and I made all of my own payments, but I was hoping my dad would help because his credit was excellent, and so it would just been a co-mortgage and it wasn't a big deal. And so he wanted to do it, and I asked my oldest sister for all of his account information regarding what he had in the bank and such, and come to find out, he didn't have a whole lot. And so I said to her, "Where's all of Dad's money?" And she says, "Well, he spends it." And well, that wasn't the case because he got, I think it was $4,000 a month, and his rent was only about $500 a month because he had an efficiency apartment. So then I'm in her vehicle one day and I pulled out my daughter's savings books that my dad had been contributing to, and I noticed there were withdrawals, and asked my sister what's going on, and she admitted she had taken the money for her vehicle payments. And at that point, I said enough is enough, and I talked to my dad, and we had everything switched over into his name and then mine. I think I was POA, but he had his own accounts, and we would go to the bank every month to get his money orders for his rent and such. And I would keep all of the receipts from his purchases, and then he would keep his remaining money. And then I used full disclosure with all of my sisters regarding his account balances and his expenditures. Everyone got, copies of the receipts and such. So there was oversight. And then I was getting divorced, and so I had asked my dad to help me, and he did. He helped by signing for a vehicle. We were on the vehicle together. It was a $3,000 vehicle. So, and then my youngest sister took over, and uh, she ran his credit, found out he had helped me, and called the local police department and tried to charge me with fraud, which of course my dad had to come in and say that wasn't the case. And so there was a snafu in the family when that happened. And then after all was said and done and a couple of years passed, my youngest sister said she took a deep dive into my dad's accounts and found out my oldest sister had taken approximately $60,000 to $80,000 from my dad over the course of years when she had managed his accounts. I mean, this family, my family, holy cow. And what is so ironic is that despite having this knowledge of what my oldest sister had done, my younger sister never filed a police report and had her charged. And my dad knew what had happened. And he said, "It's my money, don't worry about it." So, anyways, um, that's all I wanted to say. Checks and balances. It's okay if a parent helps a child out and, it's private between the two of them. But when someone's managing your parents' or grandparents' accounts, you better have, even if you have enough money to pay a lawyer to oversee that, would be even better, because then it's out of your hands and between your parents and their lawyer. That's just the way it is. So, anyways, that's all I wanted to say. Money is the root of all evil in certain cases, and in this case, it certainly does fit. So, that's all I wanted to say, and I will be back.